All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to another episode of In Our Humble Opinion. No, it's not Matthew McConaughey. It is Brantley Weatherford. And joining me today is my great best friend, Jacob Cook. Jacob, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm very pleased to be your best good friend.
You know, Jacob, there's three things in life that Matthew McConaughey taught me when I was watching the video on Matthew McConaughey. He said there was three things, and this is from a listening he heard. If I'm high, if I'm feeling good, and if I've done something else. And he said, I'm high, I'm not high, I'm feeling good, and something else. So he said, all right, all right, all right. Well, for me, there's my three things. I'm feeling good, I'm looking good, and everything is good. So for me, it's all right, all right, all right.
I thought you were going to say Texas is back.
Texas is back, folks. No, I don't think they're quite back
I think
yet.
he's a huge Texas fan, if I'm not mistaken.
He is. He was at the Alabama-Texas game last year. He's pretty much at every Texas game that's huge.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much at every Texas game. Now, I will say, for those of you who don't know, Brantley it's been commented before online that Brantley sounds like Matthew McConaughey. I have never heard it before, but I will say, when I was editing maybe 2 weeks ago, one of the just playback the episode, I'm like, that does kind of sound like Matthew McConaughey. So I played back this clip. I don't remember which one it was, like 4 or 5 times. Like, I can kind of hear it now, at least in that one clip. But I really don't hear it that much.
What was the clip?
It was just one of our episodes. I don't remember which one.
Well, I'll tell you this, Jacob. I've been studying the voice for a long time now, and it's just right in here. You just kind of bubble it up, and
Do you remember what's his name? Connor Moore?
I can't say that I do.
He's an impressionist. I think I showed you a clip with him and Frank Caliendo.
I know Frank.
He does an amazing Matthew McConaughey impersonation, and it sounds identical. Honestly, it's spot on, and it's so funny. It's one of those voices that's kind of like Frank Caliendo's John Madden or something. It's just like so good that it's just scary, honestly.
Yeah, if Frank Caliendo is John Madden, it's like sporadic because he's going like 100 miles per hour.
Did you see the clip of him with David Letterman years ago when he went on there as John?
Yeah.
They introduced him as John Madden, and it came out. That was funny.
Have you seen where it's Stephen A. Smith versus Stephen B. Smith?
Yes, that one's great as well.
Who's the best mic? Well, let me tell you from my authority.
I think one of my favorites is Bill Walton.
Oh, I got a story about that. But yes, I remember when I was down in Miami. I saw stars. I could hear colors. I smell sounds. Today it was Institute Day. Like for anybody not in the school business, at least in Alabama, Institute Day is where a bunch of school systems came together. We have a guest speaker, whatnot. And this guy, he was talking about John Wooden and doing the basics. He's like, and he had people like, raise your hand if you know who Bill Walton is. It's just like, I know exactly who that is.
That would be me. Very funny.
It was, all I could think was, I remember when I was in Miami. But yeah, impressions are really cool. I guess sometimes I do sound like Matthew McConaughey, but I'm not trying to. Let me tell you that right now. I mean, right now I'm trying to. I don't know if it's doing good.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it comes through a little bit. I can hear it a little bit more. But honestly, when other people have commented on it, when we've been playing online, I haven't heard it. But
I've gotten 2 things online. Matthew McConaughey, and sometimes I get Herbert from Family Guy.
Well, you do a pretty darn good impersonation, so... Which is kind of scary, but also kind of cool.
Everybody's got their niche,
I love impressionists, though. I think they're great. The only problem is, which is obvious, but they're only funny if you know who they're impersonating. So I've shown I've shown family members clips of other, like Frank Caliendo doing Bill Walton, but they don't know who Bill Walton is. So they're like, yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm like, of course it's not funny. I thought you knew who he was. So.
Oh, Dickie V, baby.
Oh,
What
yeah.
a player. What a star. Dick Vitale, baby. Yeah, baby. He's a diaper dandy. There you go.
Dandy.
Dick Vitale. For anybody who knows that.
Greatest college basketball commentator
ever. And I don't understand people's animosity towards him being a commentator. He was awesome.
He's a bad coach, but he's a great commentator.
I don't care about his coaching career, Jacob. There's nothing better than hearing his derpiness.
I know.
Within basketball commentary.
I mean, it was great. It still is great.
Remember, who was it? I think it was Brent Musburger and Holly Rowe. I'll leave it there. But so long, everyone.
Brent Musburger. I actually found out this. Did you know this is going to be Gary Danielson's last year with CBS?
Hallelujah.
Commentating SEC football. Oh, I know you're not a big fan, but he was talking about how, I think, and I may be mistaken, but he worked with Brett Musburger before. And then it was Vern, who was it?
Lundquist. Vern Lundquist.
Is that his name? And now it's Brad Netzler, I think. So
I like Brad. I like Vern. Nobody in the SEC likes Gary. Every fan base can't stand Gary because everybody thinks he's against their team.
I don't have a problem with his commentary. I don't know why people do.
Jacob.
It's not that bad.
Your team will make a great play. He'll be like, yeah, they got a little lucky there. So-and-so did this, They got fortunate. They got away with one there.
Well, there is some of that. I will give you that. And he did make the comment, or the interviewer made the comment that what did he say? It was something like, you don't have any fans in the SEC or something like that. And he just kind of laughed or something, because I guess he knows that that's sort of his reputation.
It's true. I'll tell you who's grown on me over the years. Gus Johnson.
Oh, really?
With he does it with Joel Klatt on the Big 12 and Big 10 games. I remember I think it was 2012, 2013, when Kansas State played Arkansas in a bowl game. And there's a guy on Kansas or Arkansas's team. I can't remember. But his last name was Winston. And every time Winston did something, he was like, Winston! And all I could think of was, Wilson!
I was about to say, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Every play. And I was like, what am I watching? Castaway? But he's grown on me over the years because he says stuff. Big 10, big game. Here we go. It's just like one little small run play. I'm like,
oh, yeah. Fun. Yeah. But I like Joel Klatt's commentary a lot. So
Joel Klatt's is very specific and detailed oriented. And then Gus Johnson's is just, he's the Dick Vitale of the group.
What do you think of Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit?
I like Chris Fowler. Commentary wise, I like Kirk Herbstreit. I think they're both good at commentary.
Okay.
But
what about analyst? Kirk Herbstreit, analyst side.
He analyzes pretty decently. And there's something else that I am not a fan of his, but I'll leave it at that. But football wise, yeah.
Alexi Lawless.
That guy's awful. What I can't stand about Alexi Lawless is he talks like he has been a World Cup winner and a Ballon d'Or winner, and he hasn't done crap. He played in the MLS and the United States men team back when they were even worse than they are now, and he talks like he is Lionel Messi or Pepe or Cristiano Ronaldo, and it drives me insane. Wonder Boy, what are you doing? This team needs to be stripped of their money. They're just going out and getting tattoos. You didn't do anything. You look like a Viking back when you played. A weird, strange Viking back when you played. And you're talking now, and I'll digress from that. But I can't stand them.
Yeah, I'll
Can't
never
stand 'em.
forget that rant because I saw it live on TV. They had just missed qualifying for the World Cup. He goes on air after the game, goes on that epic rant that's, I think, gone viral. And Brantley texted me shortly thereafter and was like, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Yeah, I saw it."
I mean, he did make good points,
Yeah,
but
he
he's
made some good
making it
points.
from a position. The way it comes across to me is that he's done everything that you're supposed to do as a football/soccer player, and he hasn't. He played
I,
in the MLS. That was the one. Their penalty kicks. You got to look up old school MLS penalty stuff. It's nothing like what actual penalties is. It's stupid. But
I think to me it kind of came across more of like this is potentially the best team we've ever had, and they couldn't qualify.
wow, putting team on Christian Pulisic's name is not fair. He's really
Well,
good.
that team in particular, yeah. I mean, there were some good players, but nothing like what we had. What last year? A couple years ago. Last year, I think.
Yeah, well, this year's team, they lost in, what was it, the Gold Cup or something?
Yeah, I think so.
And they shouldn't have lost. Like, they were blowing people out, and then they lost. Like, what
It's
is it?
unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Well, if you're in Europe, you're playing European teams. Yeah, it makes sense. They're all good. But here, we should have won.
The South American teams aren't bad either, though.
But we weren't playing the best South American team, I think, was Mexico.
I thought they beat Mexico, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they did, yeah, but that's my point. They
So
beat
they
the best
lost.
team.
You're saying they lost to someone who was not as high of quality of an opponent as Mexico.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it was. United States men's team. Let's see. Let's see.
Let's see. Would it have been like Cuba or
Why does it show me?
the
No,
Dominican Republic?
it wasn't. Why does it show me women's? I said men's. I don't care about the women's right now. I don't remember who it was, Jacob. It was.
Well, at any rate,
It's
they
a team they
lost.
shouldn't have lost to,
Yeah.
and they did. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
But
That's the one that Lexi Lawless, Alexi, whatever his name is,
should have gone off on.
Yeah, he's a poop. Oh, they tied Jamaica. They shouldn't tie Jamaica. And
1-1,
then
maybe.
yeah, it's 1-1. And there's another game, I believe. All right, it's coming up. I feel it. I'm hearing it loud. I don't remember. The point is, they didn't win it, and they should have won the Gold Cup thing. No excuse.
You still got to earn it on the field. You can't be the best team and just show up. You have to play like it.
I know. I'm just saying. But to be fair, they didn't have all the superstars. Like Pulisic wasn't there. Some other players that are huge.
Oh, then what are we even talking about? Of course.
It doesn't matter, Jacob. When your fans are bragging that you're blowing out Trinidad Bago, whoever the heck that is, 6-0, bragging like your super team, you better go out there and win. I don't care if you have Wonder Boy or not.
At any rate, it's disappointing they lost, but I digress.
Yeah.
I wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody for watching our last episode. It was one of my favorites to record. Personally, I enjoyed it very much. I thought the commentary and the conversation was really good. I got an opportunity to kind of vent some points out there. So we appreciate everybody who took the time to watch either the video or just listen to the audio format. We greatly do appreciate that. We greatly appreciate everybody who listens and who watches our content. And today, Brant, I had something kind of interesting. I wanted to share something with you that I think might be a little controversial, but nevertheless, I want to get my opinion out there. That is what this show is all about, after all.
It is.
I have watched John Wick, and I must say,
Jacob.
I don't
Tread softly.
understand.
Tread
I
softly.
don't get it. I think it may be a 3 out of 10. Maybe. And I'm being generous. I don't
Ooh.
understand. So maybe you, as a fan of the franchise, can help me understand what I'm not getting. Why do you enjoy this movie?
Which one did you see?
I saw the first one. Now, I will say I've only seen the first one. But there was nothing in that movie that made me want to see part 2, part 3, or part 4. I got through with part 1 and I was thinking, did I miss something here? This is John Wick. This is the movie that I've been told so much about. It had 108,000 5-star reviews on Amazon.
Maybe it's not the movie. Maybe you're an outlier in this instance.
What is it about this movie that you find appealing? I want to hear your point.
First of all, John Wick 1 is kind of its own story. Now, it is connected to all of them, obviously.
It doesn't have a story, but you can continue.
I'll get to that in a second. It's the second one really starts off the whole, I would say, trinity of 3 movies. After like second, 2, 3, and 4 are all heavily connected. They're all connected. I mean, 1 really, you see where he gets back into his business, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's how 1's connected to this one, and so on and so on. Second of all, it does have a story, Jacob. Okay. The story is, and spoiler alerts for anybody out there. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you can literally listen to this episode, and that's all you need to know. You don't need to watch the show. Let me explain to you what the movie is, and then you can decide for yourself if you want to waste your time actually watching it. But anyway, Brent, I'll give you the floor. I'm sorry.
Story. There is a story. The story is he just loses his wife.
Yep.
That he leaves his business.
Sure.
Which is him being a hitman, or not, I don't know, trained assassin and whatnot, however you want to say it.
Sure.
He goes home, and his wife's dying. As she's dying, you don't ever see his wife other than through a picture, but she has a puppy delivered to John Wick's home as like a parting gift.
Yep.
Like, this is for you. All right. John Wick goes out in his awesome car, does some speeding around with his puppy and all that, and having fun.
Which makes no sense, by the way, but okay, go ahead.
First of all, why does it not make sense? Because he just lost his wife. He's going to blow off steam. We all have our different ways. Like, I play video games, or I talk to friends or whatnot. And he's going out to drive his car super fast. It blows off steam. It eases his mind. That's just something he's doing.
Okay, all right. Let me give you my perspective, okay? From somebody who has no idea what I'm getting into as far as this franchise is concerned. Opening scene, literally the opening scene of the movie, he comes rolling out of this SUV, and he's basically battered and bruised and bloody and everything else. Why he's there, you don't know. Presumably the movie will explain it to you, which it does, kind of, but I'll get back to that in a moment. Next few things you see, he's at home. He's mourning the loss of his wife. There is a scene, I think, with him in the hospital, and he's with her as she's, unfortunately passing away. So
yeah,
that happens. Okay. Then the next day, or maybe that night, he gets a package delivered, as Brand alluded to, and it's a puppy with a note from his wife that basically is like, you're not going to get out of loving something. You're going to mourn with this dog. Okay. It's a big deal. We have known the character at this point maybe 5 minutes. Like, I don't know anything about him. I just know one thing. He just lost his wife, and while tragic that may be, now he's and he's a dog owner now. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next scene, he gets into this Mustang, this 69 Mustang, which is a beautiful car, it has to be said.
It
And then he
is.
just goes to this airport. He pulls up to this gate, and this guy just knows who he is. There's no dialogue. He's just like, he just looks at him, and then the gate opens up. And then he just drives on by and just starts doing donuts on this, I guess, airstrip. And you're just
He
like,
does.
okay. And presumably the dog, which is like a puppy, is in the car. And the car is just spinning around. And you're thinking, there's no
What he
way
does
that
with his
dog is in the
animals is
car.
his thing. Okay, yeah, but that's just way blowing
You're
off
just like,
steam.
what the heck is going on?
And the gate opening, because the guy looks at him, is explained throughout the movie. Like, you learn through the movie, he was the most dangerous assassin alive. So, like, everybody knows who he is. That's explained. It's there, Jacob. You just didn't look at it. Okay. Now let's get to the next part.
Right,
These
right.
Russian mobsters, should I say, one of them likes a John's car, and he comes up and says, "I'll buy it from you." He says, "Not for sale." And then the Russian guy says something in Russian, like calls him or a B word or something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
And
something
then
like that.
and then Jonathan responds in Russian, and it offends the guy. So the people come to his house while he's sleeping, break in, steal the Mustang, and kill his dog. Kill his dog that he just got from his wife, who died, who sent him the dog to remember her and to love something like he was going to love her. That whole world was just ruined by some punk mobsters.
Sure.
It was. So it sets up the plot for the movie, which is he's going out to get his revenge. And it just so happens that he was the best assassin in the world in his whatever. It explains in the rest of the movies. I'm not going to say any more than that. So he breaks back into his old lifestyle because his
When
dog was
Brantley
just killed.
says, when you say break in, let me just clarify for the audience. It literally just means he drove to New York, goes into like this hotel, and goes down to like an underground level. That's him breaking back in.
No.
Just
He
so you know.
breaks concrete in his garage that reveals his old
Oh,
lifestyle.
that's right. He uses a sledgehammer
See,
to break
we're
open the
missing
concrete.
details, Jacob. You're missing key details. All right,
How is that a detail?
they're there. Okay, Josh is gonna hear this episode and be like,
I don't understand. The whole movie is literally. First of all, let me just say, he's the best assassin ever, right? You would think that like your go-to move as the best assassin ever is to not just walk into the place of interest during broad daylight and shoot everybody in sight. He does that like 4 times, and that's the movie. It's
I
not,
will say
I'm
there
not going to
is.
wait till night. I'm going to go in and take out the key targets as stealthily as possible. No, it's literally, I'm just going to go in a suit and tie and shoot everybody in sight. And by the way, I'm not going to take but maybe 1 shot throughout the whole movie. And 3 scenes later, I'm perfectly fine. Anyway, go ahead, Brant.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying there, but his he's known across the universe that he's in. Like, he's known.
I don't care that he's
So,
known for being
I-
the best assassin ever. That doesn't
and the
mean
most
anything.
dangerous. Okay, well, that's part of the story, though. So that's why he does it in broad daylight. Now, I will say one glaring thing I've noticed in all these movies is there's never any police presence. Ever. Except
Not one
when,
time.
at the very first one where it comes to this house, he's like, "Everything good here, John?" He's like, "Yep." He's like, "All right." But
That was
the
probably
point was,
the best scene in the movie, by the way. That was
he's-
very funny.
he's known. He's known by everybody, even the police, that he's this guy under the high table, and that's all I'll say about that. Was there anything in the first movie about the high table?
I think so. I think they mentioned something maybe.
So through the next few movies, you'll learn more about them and whatnot. They're kind of like the leaders of the universe, per se. I'll just leave it there. And then you get action. You get action through the movie.
Okay.
You get cool guns. You get awesome fight scenes. By the way, Keanu Reeves himself can actually do all those moves with the guns because he does gun training. That's true. He can do all that stuff, which makes it even cooler because this actor can actually do the stuff that he's doing, and he's doing it on film. Um,
Look, this isn't attacking Keanu Reeves. I think he did it.
I know, but it just adds to the movie. The atmosphere, Jacob. One thing I love about the atmosphere, and you might disagree. It reminds me of a movie that's been made in the early 2000s. It's got
Hmm.
that type of atmosphere. It's got the you got like the neon lights and stuff here and there. You got the flip phones, the burner phones they have, whatnot. It's got like a very 2000s type atmosphere. It's just got one of those early 2000 type movie feels to me. I could be totally wrong. And then he carries out his plan to get his revenge. I mean, what else can you want?
Okay, let me just break it down.
What
Okay,
movies do you like?
let me just break it down, and then I'll actually get to that here in just a moment. Okay, the choreography in this movie is very average. Okay, it's very average. It's not that great. It's not that convincing to me. I never thought he was actually punching anybody. It just seemed kind of.
What are you
eh.
watching with a microscope?
No, I'm sitting right there in front of my TV. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's believable. He just gets shot in one of the scenes. He gets shot in the shoulder. 2 seconds later, he's getting tackled off the story, lands on his back, and then just gets up and then just is like totally fine. Now he may have been shot in the vest that he put on. I can't remember,
Yeah,
but
his suit is armor.
well, he put on like a vest, and I think he was shot in the arm. But I may be
It's like the
mistaken.
silver shroud from Fallout. His suit is armor.
He's literally getting shot at in certain scenes by more than a dozen different people, and he doesn't get hit one time. One time.
Plot armor, Jacob. Every major movie has plot armor.
I don't get it though. Like, okay, whenever he
This
goes
is
into the nightclub, right? He goes in there, he
yeah,
just shoots the place up. Okay.
yeah.
Now the guy who he's after leaves. So he finds out where he is, or he finds out about this cathedral. He goes to the cathedral, shoots it up in broad daylight, just walks in there, shoots everybody in sight, shoots the priest, shoots everybody,
Because the
goes
priest
in.
was corrupt.
I
He was
understand
part
that.
of it.
I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm just saying goes into the vault, burns everything there. That really ticks off the head honcho. So then he does get captured because
Yeah, he's not
so he
immune.
gets captured, okay, and then he's saved. Of course he's saved.
Yes, because he has connections.
Be-
I don't see the issue
The
here,
most
Jacob.
dangerous person in the world who is after this man's son is sitting right in front of you with his hands bound, and you leave it to your henchman. You don't just kill him. You don't just take him out right there. He's completely vulnerable. No, he doesn't. He just, you know how they do. They just give their henchmen some kind of look, and then they walk out of the room, and then he's miraculously saved. So he's saved, and he finds out where this guy is that he's been tracking the whole movie. He goes to the safe house. He knows exactly where all the snipers are, so he just snipes them because he just knows where they are. And
Because he
then
scopes it out.
it doesn't show you that. It just shows
He doesn't
him.
have to. He's
It
the best
just
assassin in the world. Why does he have to show you?
that's
Oh,
the
I can't
whole
believe.
movie. That's the whole movie summed up. Hey, this is the best assassin in the world. Just take our word for it. He probably did it right. And I'm just like, no, that's not good enough for me. I want to see how he does it. He's so
That
anyway.
would take so much extra time. That would be pointless.
So anyway, he snipes out everybody in this safe house because, like I said, he just knows where they are. He walks up to the guy he's been hunting the whole movie. We're like 45 to 50 minutes into the film. Walks up to him and just shoots him in the face or something, and then just walks off.
Isn't that what you want? What did
I
you
mean,
want? Him to torture him for 50 minutes?
so whole goal achieved. He's killed probably hundreds of people now because they killed his dog. And
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. And then the guy, so the guy he kills, the guy he's after is like this head honcho crime lord's son. So
Yeah.
now he goes after the crime lord because he kills off one of his friends that's been helping him throughout the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't. So there's this whole scuffle in the hotel room, and Lance Reddick, which was hilarious by the way to see him in this movie, he tells him basically like, "Oh, because of something. We're going to give you a brand new car. I don't really know why, but we're going to give you a brand new car. So he gets this brand new car and he gets in it and he chases down this crime lord who he then does like a couple pit maneuvers, kills like the 6 people that are inside. They're shooting at him, but of course, he's not going to die. And then takes out the crime lord in like one of the most anticlimactic fights I've ever seen, where at the end of it, he literally just says, "I'll see you, John," or something like that. And then he's like, "I'll see you." And then he walks off while he's still alive, but presumably he's going to die. And then that's basically it. That's basically the movie. He finds another dog, kind of randomly, just finds another dog. I'm presuming that's going to be in the second movie.
What else do you want? I mean, what else did you want from it, Jacob? It's an action movie with.
It's just that though. Like it's just literally 45 minutes of him just.
What did you want an in-depth poem described to you as he's doing it? I mean, I fail to see the problem here. We play action games all the time.
I just don't like characters that are superhuman for no reason.
He's not superhuman.
He is. He walks through all manner of gunfire and doesn't.
Realistically, nobody's that accurate.
First of all, this is the thing. This is sort of like the Star Wars stormtrooper memes that are all over the place where they can't hit anything. The bad guys miss him when they're like right there, and he never misses. Never.
Because he's the best in the world.
You can't just quote he's the best in the world and expect me to believe he never makes a mistake.
Okay, well, let's look at Battlefield. Look at me.
Okay.
People miss me. I don't miss.
I failed to understand why it was so popular. I don't understand the story, really. I mean, he's the best assassin in the world. That's basically the story. And he gets really upset that they murder his dog.
That's because the dog is tied to his wife.
I get it. He even explains as much, but that doesn't give me a connection to the character. It doesn't.
Jacob, I think you're looking too deep into this movie. This movie is a high action film with great choreography, might I add, and cinematography, whatever it's called. It's got awesome action sequences. It's got a few comedic moments. He gets his revenge. You learn about the high table and the lifestyle that he used to live, which is very important in the next 3 movies.
I just don't get it. Like
the atmosphere is incredible. I don't know what else.
Like 4 places in the whole movie. There's the hotel. There's the safe house. There's the cathedral, and that's basically
the atmosphere is more than you're thinking of location. Setting. I'm talking about atmosphere. You can have a great atmosphere in a house. Let's look at the movie The Others. The atmosphere was incredible for that movie because you felt like you were in a haunted mansion while you were watching the movie because it had a great atmosphere. It was only in one location inside the house.
Look, I thought the action scenes were kind of cool at first. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see it. It's pretty cool. But then it just was like literally the same thing like 4 or 5 times. Except in one.
Well, all I can say is
I just don't get it. Like,
if you got tired of the action, you're not going to enjoy the next 3.
I guess it was just like there was no. It just didn't feel like there was any real narrative that was being.
People, I want y'all to remember this is coming from the guy who doesn't like the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
No. I don't like the last 3.
You said the third.
I like the first 2. I don't like the last 3.
Again, I rest my case.
You like the last 3 movies as much as the first 2?
I like the first 3.
Okay, well, do you like the last 2?
As much? No.
Okay, all right. Let's see. That's my point. They're always good.
The third one's not bad. And you claim the third one's awful.
I don't like the third.
Regardless, Jacob, I don't know what to tell you. It's just we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on this one because
Fair enough. Fair
it's
enough. I wasn't alone, by the way. I watched it with other people who had never seen it, and we all came away
who
with the same. My wife, for example, my dad was like, "Yeah, they're not as good as I remember them being." I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't get it. And the thing that baffles me too is like this is 108,000 5-star reviews. Just for some context, and you were asking me what movies I like earlier. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is widely considered one of the best ever.
fantastic.
It has less than 50,000 5-star reviews. I don't get it. Like, how could you watch those movies and not think, "Oh, these are
Well,
great. These are
they're
incredible
not
movies"?
as short as John Wick's probably the case.
Perhaps. I'm a big fan of The Dark Knight. I thought it was a good film. Very much
It
enjoyed it.
is, yeah.
44,000 like 5-star reviews. I'm like, what? Maybe you're right, Brant. Maybe it's just me, and I have bad taste in movies because I want a character that's not one dimensional, that has more than 12 lines in the movie, and that actually has some kind of story.
You
Maybe
mean
it's just
12
me.
lines in the series?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, fair enough. I will say though, I think the reason there's so many 5-star reviews on it is probably maybe they agree with the whole atmosphere thing. Because when I watch the movie, I don't feel like I'm watching a movie from 2014 is when it came out. Because let's be honest, Jacob, in the past, that's another thing. The past 13 years, all movies have been relatively the same. The big movies are superhero, and then other comedy movies are full with political agendas and bullcrap. And then you got this movie that there's no political agenda going on. There's just action, but it's not superhero stuff.
it
Uh,
feels like it though. It does.
Kinda.
Like there were like 4 or 5 scenes in that film where I'm like, there's no way he doesn't at
Well,
least come away with like some kind of significant injury.
do you like the Jason Bourne movies?
I have not seen those.
Oh, well, those are older than John Wick, and it's the same thing with him. He's like the best shooter in the world. I don't know if you're gonna like those either.
That doesn't do it for me. Like I don't, just because the writers tell me that like he's the best to ever do something, I'm like,
But they
what is
made the movie. It's not realistic.
but they're trying to pass it as realistic, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
How are they trying to pass this realistic?
I mean, they're describing him as like this indestructible super assassin, and his go-to move is just to walk into wherever and just shoot him.
That's not them saying it's realistic. I don't know, Joe. I don't know.
Well, it's
I guess 108,000 people might share the sentiment I do that it's just a straightforward movie. There's no hidden message being
there's too
pushed.
much action without enough development of the story. Maybe part 2 and part 3 and part 4 will expand on that more, but like it's just like you get 3 minutes of some kind of mild conversation with someone, and then it's like 10 minutes of him killing people in a warehouse, and then it goes back to like 3 minutes of him having a discussion with somebody. Really, it's not even a discussion, it's just him moving to the next place that his target's at, and then he'll go in there and kill everybody in there, and then it's like, okay, all right.
Okay, well,
I,
some people don't like a bunch of dialogue, and I'll give you an example. I saw the movie Oppenheimer over the
mhm.
weekend with our good pal Cthulhu. He knows who he is, and the movie's 3 hours long. There's a ton of dialogue, and we're bored because of it. Now there are some high drama scenes, and whatnot, which are very nice, but like the build up to it, which is what you say you want, was boring as crap.
I don't necessarily need like a 5-minute monologue. I just want him to.
Well, that's what you're asking. You said it was only 3 minutes. Well, how much longer do you need? I don't know. I mean, again,
it was show up to this place to find the guy he's after the whole time. He evades him and gets out. So he goes to the other place where he's supposed to be. He
what do
evades
we
and
do in
gets out.
Battlefield? What do
Do
we
what
do in
now?
Battlefield? What do we do in Battlefield? We go to a flag. We do what we have to do,
I don't
and
want
we
to
move.
sit down and watch it in a movie. That's so boring. I
don't know.
If you see the first action scene in that movie, you've seen the movie. All you have to do is replay that first scene 4 times, and
There's
then that's
much
it.
more to it than that.
Then you've seen it.
People, make your own choice on this. That's not true.
Look,
Jacob,
I know how much people love this series. I'm fully prepared to accept what people will say about my take here, but I'm just telling you that
well,
I don't understand. I don't get. I mean, I don't love the James Bond movies
I
with
don't either.
what's his name in it, Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, at least they had more interesting antagonists,
Oh,
and at
God.
least I mean, it was basically the same thing, but with a more interesting plot line.
Oh gosh. Well,
I mean, it was the ones that I've seen. It was, and I never thought I would ever say that because I thought those movies were very average. But John Wick, Chapter 1. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. I saw it one time. I'm like, I don't know if I can do it again.
you
I don't know. Do I need to watch Chapter 2 for it to make more sense?
I mean, the series is makes sense, all of it. But I don't know if you'll be able to survive. So there's too much action. I don't know if you'll be able to take it.
It's not. It's just that.
I don't know what to say, Jacob. I'm confused. Yeah, there's more story to it than just they killed my dog. Da, da, da. There's more to it than that.
Not in the first movie. That's literally his motivation.
I'm saying in the second movie, there's more to it than that. But
if they don't kill his dog and they just steal his car, the movie does not happen.
But that's the point. He's connected to his wife. His wife
I get it.
Gives him a dog as her dying gift. They come in and kill his dog just because he didn't want to give him the car. And he goes back to his old lifestyle. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't. You're speaking blasphemy. You're speaking blasphemy.
I don't think so.
I can't believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. They ought to take your key from the city.
I will say on Metacritic, it is not very highly rated. I don't remember the exact number, but I do remember the critics.
The critics are stupid. I said it. The critics are stupid.
I didn't.
They give crap movies. They gave the Barbie movie high praise. That movie is garbage. My fiance saw it and said it is awful.
I don't doubt it.
Well,
it looks awful.
The critics, they gave John Wick.
And the user rating was like 80, I think. Or the
user rating for Elden Ring is 80.
Well, at least there's some people out there who saw what I saw.
Well, I must have been.
I'll tell you this much. I will watch Chapter 2 at some point. I'll let you know.
The user score from Elden Ring is 7.8.
That's ridiculous.
My point made. Jacob, John Wick is a good movie.
Is it one? Is it in your top 5?
Yes.
Oh,
well, hold on now. Hold on. Series-wise, yes. Series-wise. Individual movies, I don't know. I would say probably my favorite movie is Black Hawk Down. Always. I love that movie.
Yeah. Very good movie.
It's one of those movies that can put me to sleep.
It's a good movie.
Not because it's bad. Anyway, and then, of course, I love The Two Towers. I think The Two Towers is my favorite of the 3, although I love all 3. All 3 are just phenomenal. Here's one that a lot of people are going to shake their head, including my fiance. Fast and Furious, the first one. I love that movie. And it's because of the atmosphere. It's literally in 2001, so it's that early 2000s culture. Really love that. Well, number 4. Boy, it really separates the men from the boys. I'll probably
Wick.
say John Wick 3 would be
Okay.
4 for me. And then 5, I don't know. Man.
I don't. I'm really not trying to troll people on this. I didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I just thought it was a very
That's
shallow
fair.
movie that was just literally a tutorial on how to go on a murderous rampage. And that's about all. That's about all there is to it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That's your opinion.
That is my opinion. And by the way, he just so happens at the end of the film to crash into that like dog kennel, and
Yeah.
like it just happens to be there, and then he just gets another dog.
Who is in that movie that is strange scene in that movie? See if you can figure it out. There's someone in that movie.
Well, Lance Reddick was kind of odd.
Yeah, but he's been in movies before.
I know. I don't know any of the other cast members by name, actually.
Any familiar faces?
Well, I know that the ally throughout the film has been in several films.
Yeah. But he's a normal. Okay, let me say a non-normal movie person that you don't usually see in movies, if at all.
Help me out here. I don't know.
What was it? If you got State Farm, you could be covered from.
Oh, that's right. Mayhem. My dad made a comment about that when he came on the scene.
Yeah,
for the first.
He's in that movie. I saw. I was like, look at this. It's just weird seeing him in the movie. Like, huh. Anyway, I don't think it's State Farm though. I think it's
Allstate. I think.
Yeah, I think you're right because they got Allstate and then they got Allstate. Are you in
By
good
the way,
hands?
can I just make one final point about the movie?
Go ahead.
Whenever they capture this ally of John Wick throughout the movie, you know what he does? Did you pay any attention to what he did? Did he maybe kill him or something? That's odd. He had John Wick in the same position like 4 scenes prior and he didn't do it. That's weird. Wonder why he didn't do it then. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Okay, well, Jacob, why didn't Master Chief die when he dove out of the spaceship in Halo 2 to deliver the bomb? Plot armor.
So stupid.
How come Master Chief is the only Spartan that hasn't been killed by the Covenant in the start of the war? Plot armor, Jacob.
Well, you've clearly never played Halo 2 on Legendary because I died many times.
I did too, and it's your fault I played on Legendary because you told me if you don't beat Halo on Legendary, then you're not actually beating Halo.
I just wanted to see if you would do it, and you did.
I beat them all on Legendary. Every last one of them, well, except the new one.
That's what I do.
And it's pain. It's
rise
been
up.
Hell, I rose up. I rose up and got popped in the head by a sniper, had to restart the level like 50th time.
Motivate you and inspire you, Brant. That's what I'm here for.
You know, you could, on the Master Chief Collection, you can check how many times you die per campaign. And when I go to Halo 2, it's like doubled everything else.
I thought you were about to say it had like an infinity symbol or something.
Might as well. Felt like that. There's that one mission where you're in a tank and you're going through the woods and you can get sniped in the tank and die.
Yeah, I get it. I don't mean to digress the point, but I have one more point to make about the film.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I didn't mean to get on a tangent, but plot armor. Okay, if I'm being as serious as I can be about this, I don't mind it unless you excessively use it throughout your movie. And I really felt like there were moments in the film where he should have taken more, where he took an insane amount of risk time and time again and was never punished for it. And then he gets captured and he's released miraculously. And then the same exact thing happens to a lesser character within like 20 minutes and he doesn't survive. He dies. And I'm like, I can forgive the fact that he escaped if you didn't just let him run through a hail of bullets for the past 30 minutes.
But the other character's not the main
I'm
character
sorry.
of the
He's not the
series.
best assassin in the
He's not
world.
the main character, Jacob.
There's too much main character going on here. You can't just bypass basic writing he's just the main character because
They
you
do
just
it in tons of movies.
and they're all when they do it, it's all bad. It's never good. It's not
My
passable.
lord.
I'm just saying.
Lord.
That is why I have a problem with Pirates of the Caribbean Part
I
3
knew it. I knew it.
because they killed off Jack Sparrow in Part 2 and then they're like, "Oh, we can't have that, so let's just go get him." I just let's turn our boat upside down.
Here you go, Jacob.
And
read books instead of watching the movies, and
maybe
you'll
I
be
need
happy.
to. Maybe
You'll be
I
happy.
need.
Did you like the Hobbit series?
I liked some scenes in it, but I know how much
As a
stuff
whole.
they added to it, and it's kind of stupid.
All right. Well, read the book. You'll love the book. Book's 100 times better.
That's what I heard. They didn't.
They took a 200-page book and made it 3 movies.
Yeah, apparently, like Legolas and other characters are not even in the story. We just added them in the movie because
I believe.
why not?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I think that's right about Legolas. I can't remember. It's been like 2 or 3 years since I read it. But there's
Like
also some stuff they cut out of the movie that's in the book.
Yeah, that's true. And I think like the main antagonist, that big pale orc, that's like totally fabricated. That's never in the book.
Yeah, he's not.
So
Spoiler alert: he's not in the book.
yeah, so like none of that actually happens. But anyway,
Yeah, good. Well, Jacob, I don't know what to tell you, but
boy, I got to say, you did not do a very good job convincing me to watch these other movies. I thought you'd be like,
you don't.
Oh, go ahead.
The reason you don't like this movie is because you say there's too much action. Well, the whole series is a ton of action. The story is explained more throughout the series. It is. But I don't want to say any of that because I don't want to spoil you on it. I don't know what you're looking for.
You want to know you want to know a good example, Brent? Rush Hour is great. And it has a ton of action in it, and it's broken up with a bunch of humor, and there is actually a story. It's not a great story. Nobody says I love Rush Hour for the story, but it's entertaining without being over the top, and the action is there is good portion. There's a good proportion of action and then comedy and other drama. It's not just all murderous rampage.
Rush Hour 2 in my top 5. There's my top 5 for you. No particular order other than Black Hawk Down being 1. But yeah, I guess. But there's still stuff. I don't know what to tell you, Jacob. I don't. I mean, my heart hurts. My heart hurts for you. You won't be joining us.
You know what's funny is like I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm like, this is going to be our episode, and Brantley has no idea, and I'm not going to tell him. I'm just going to tell him on the air. And for a moment or two, for those who are not watching our video, Brantley was stunned. He couldn't respond. He thought I was playing a prank on him or something. He's like, "You really didn't like the movie? How could you possibly not like the movie?" Well, I'll tell you, it's just not that good. I'm sorry. 108,000 people are wrong. Isn't that something?
Bold statement.
Strong opinions on this episode.
I guess 1 billion people are wrong about Christianity.
Well, I didn't say that. I did not say that. I did not say that.
It's the same logic.
I know. I'm just at that point. I am just being a bit of a troll. But honestly, I did not care for the movie. I will watch part 2, 3, and 4 and just see if they get any better. But I didn't care for part 1.
Fair enough. I will say it's the weakest of the series.
Okay, and let me just make this very clear. I know we've been kind of messing around and trolling around, and in all seriousness, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen by far. It's a 3 out of 10. I think is what I said at the start. It's probably. I think I told my wife it's like a 5 out of 10. I thought the action was good for the first while. I just thought it was too repetitive. They used it way too much. I didn't like how they structured the main character, but maybe I'll grow to care about him at some point. and there were some other things, but yeah, I just didn't care for it. Wasn't for me.
The end of part 3 then. I'll just leave that there.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm actually curious to see the other parts, but from what I saw part 1, I was like, this is very average. I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other movies you want to recommend, by the way?
I don't know what to recommend. I feel like I've just been. I don't know.
Every time Brantley recommends a movie, it's like I'm just going to go and watch it and be like, Brant, this movie's garbage. I don't understand.
Well, I have 108,000 people that think otherwise.
I'm joking, of course.
Whatever. It's whatever. No, I don't have anything else to say.
I can see Brantley still like shocked that he had to have this conversation with somebody, but that's okay.
It is what it is.
How disappointed are you?
Well, not everybody can be saved, but
my disappointment is immeasurable.
And my day is ruined.
Well, I hope everybody out there enjoyed. I want to know if there's anybody else out there who thinks the movie was average. I want to know if there's people who think I'm completely crazy and off the rocker, which I anticipate will be the majority of you. But that's fine. That's fine. I'm a more interesting villain than anybody in that movie was, so that's fine.
Wow.
Anything else you want to add, Brent?
No. Just thank you, everybody, for listening to Blasphemy for the last hour. To us worshipers of John Wick out there, keep praising. And I'm just kidding. No, I got nothing else. Thanks for all the support we've been receiving. It's always nice to look at the views, look at the numbers, and see people out there listening. And we appreciate everybody subscribe through video and also through listen apps. And we thank you for all that. That's what I got.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody as well. I appreciate it. I am sorry for offending anyone out there with my hot take on John Wick, but I'm sure there will be others. I know, I will watch part 2 and 3 and 4, and I'll give you guys an update on that as I get to watching those. Maybe it'll change my mind. We shall see. But again, I want to say thanks, as I just mentioned, to everybody who's listening, watching, reviewing, subscribing, all the things. We greatly appreciate it. Our social media is in the description of every video we post. So if you want to follow us on there, we do clips and previews from time to time. We always give an update whenever an episode goes live. So I encourage you to check us out on those platforms as well. And other than that, that's all I have for you. I will sign out here. God bless everybody, and we'll be back next week.
Peace.